Take it away, Annie. Good. You guys didn't like the symphony? The file cabinet?
All right. I have myself, Annie Cathy, Andrew Chorney, Brian West, David Strohmeyer, Kyla Lennertz, Melissa Fisher, Violet Plummer, Brent Servin, MCAT, and let's see, 206. It looks like we have Commissioner Vero and Slotnick, Ann Hughes, Allison France, Chris Lounsbury, and I can't see who's sitting next to Chris.
It's Jason Emery.
Jason Emery.
Oh, hi, Jason Emery. Did I miss anybody?
No. Thanks so much. Thanks, Annie.
Thank you.
Public comment on items not on the agenda. And no consent agenda. Action items. Chris Lounsbury.
Yeah, you bet. So commissioners, Chair Vero declared a state of emergency on Thursday night at 6 o'clock related to the need to do cleanup to prevent refuse and debris from going into the Clark Fork River in the area just west of Reserve Street, the Reserve Street Bridge. What we need to do now is have you ratify that action retroactively. One of the few powers you have under 10.3.402, which is the disaster declaration power. It's one of the few times the chair can act independent of the commission, and it gives the chair the right to declare a state of emergency or disaster, and then allows us to mobilize resources to deal with the immediate threat to life, safety, and property. And so that's what happened on Thursday night. And now this is your first publicly noticed meeting post that decision. And so this goes on that agenda as the item for the commission or any deliberations you might have, and then for you all to vote on whether to continue that state of emergency, or if you vote against continuing that state of emergency, then it would cease effective this meeting. So that's my quick synopsis.
Great, thank you. So what does that mean then?
So as the chair, you have the authority to declare a state of emergency, and then the legislative body, which is the entire commission, needs to meet and either uphold that, which means the state of emergency will continue until such time as you repeal it, and we'll have a proclamation that would end that state of emergency. If you think of wildland fire season, that's kind of our most traditional one, usually sometime in late June or July. Adrian Beck, who's your Office of Emergency Management director, would bring you that state of emergency. You all would vote on it, and that goes into effect until she brings you a proclamation to end it or a resolution to end it.
So right now, the water continues to rise, and while the vast majority, 80 tons of material was taken to the landfill.
30 tons, right?
I thought it was, sorry, 40 tons.
Okay, yeah.
40 tons, 80 horses.
80 horses, 40
40,
okay.
Yes, let's see here.
The last number I got was 30, but that's okay. It doesn't really, the number doesn't really matter.
40 tons total from January. So, but this last two lows, 28 or 30 tons for Friday and Saturday.
And
so
I want to throw something in.
We just don't have enough, or it's not all gone. So that's what I'm getting at. Is like, do we have to continue the emergency water?
So this is to ratify it, in which case the emergency declaration would stay in place. If the commission chose not to ratify your decision as the chair, the action you get to take independently, then the emergency would cease.
So if we say yes, it continues, which
Correct.
would give us the ability to continue doing cleanup as best and safely as we can, given the water.
Correct.
And then at some point in the future, when we feel like we're done, then we'd say no, or we make this.
I agree with that.
Great.
Great, thanks, Dave.
Keep it in place.
So I think that was a motion, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
Josh motions to keep it in place.
Keep it in place.
Dave,
I'll second that.
that. Go ahead. You were going to say something else?
Oh, yeah, we can do the all in
is
favor,
there
aye, and then I can make
Any
a comment.
further discussion or comment on this?
Yeah, then we'll do my
And
little
then
comment.
do your comment and then we'll vote.
Okay, so a couple of comments here. One of them, that measure is accurate in tons of garbage, but the garbage, I feel like if we were going to make a compelling case for why this had to be, we need to acknowledge that garbage is pretty light. So it's not dense material. So if we say 40 tons, we're talking about a tremendous amount if you were going to visually look at it. And I wish I could say it would fill the Adams Center or something. I don't know what that would be, but garbage is light compared to like 40 tons of soil or millings or compost or something, or sand or some other material that's carried in dump trucks. The volume visually is spectacular, humongous, tremendous, spreads out across a broad distance. Measuring it in weight, I feel like downgrades the intensity of its immensity.
Do you have a,
I don't. I wish. I mean, we're going
it's
to need.
40 acres is the area that,
Yeah, and you know, I don't know if
Affected.
we had raked it all out a couple inches thick, it might have covered the whole thing. I'm not quite sure. The terrain is really bumpy, so the surface area is greater than if it was just flat. But a tremendous, tremendous amount of garbage. So other thing I was going to say, and it's just obvious, but I want to say it. Water was rising. Water is rising, and the emergency here is not that no one would clean it up or that we're mired in legality that takes a long time. That's all just sort of par for the course, and it's not negative. It just is. The emergency piece here is that water is literally rising. Water would sweep this garbage into the river. We had to take some action, or we would have seen environmental disaster. This declaration of emergency wasn't a declaration of responsibility. It was an acknowledgement of an imminent environmental disaster that we could avert if we took action. And that's why we did what we did.
yeah, absolutely. Dave, did you want to add anything?
No, I think that captures it.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks for all the work, Chris. I know you and other staff put in so much extra time. And I want to acknowledge Juan's leadership on this, for really leading the charge on this effort and also being the authority on the geography of that space. You know this spot better than anybody, and that knowledge base helped a lot.
Oh, thank you. There's
Yeah,
those who
I guess
know everything I do.
Yeah, I do want to give a huge shout out to everyone who over the course of the end of last week and over the weekend helped out down there, and particularly to our very own Public Works Department, who really brought the full force of our resources to bear. And were it not for them, I don't know if there would have been any other way to get all that material out of there. So hats off to them.
Yeah, to get right on.
Absolutely, and the volunteers, because even we wouldn't have been able to do it without the physical, literal hands of people. So much handwork had to be done.
We see like 4 weeks of coordinated volunteer efforts happening 4 weeks in a row, that Kevin Davis led a bunch and Vicki Watson led a bunch, and scores of volunteers doing handwork. In addition to what we had down there was, I think, 4 dump trucks, multiple front end loaders, and a lot of Public Works employees working overtime.
Well, and the city of Missoula was down there also.
Exactly. Barging and
Yeah, creative. They used a barge and a cable to haul garbage across a watery channel.
we're not done yet, but
Or not, yeah, but it is so
Looks so
much
much
better than it has ever been. It's really environmentally, geographically, topographically a beautiful spot. When it's devoid of garbage and you're walking around there, and there's trees and hills and the river, and strangely enough, it's quiet. Something about the bridge and the height, it buffers the sound. It's not super loud. It's a really nice spot. But you
Yeah.
wouldn't have known when it was covered in garbage.
oh, thank you. Any other?
Let's- We get Brett, do you have any questions?
Oh, thank you. That's so rude of me. Yeah.
Brett, this is a question-rich topic.
Yeah, he said nope.
She said nope.
She said.
You
no.
sure?
My mistake.
Thanks, Brett. You know who to reach out to. You can reach out to Allison if you have any questions. Okay, no correspondence, discussion items, events and invitations.
No, this was it.
Okay, have a great day, everyone.
Have a
Thanks
safe trip
again.
back, Dave.
See you tomorrow.
Soon, Dave.